Okay. Well, I have one more question to go around to the panel. We're going to start again with Savannah. So this is kind of a really basic hypothetical, but really interesting the answers we get off of this. So starting with you, a random woman and a random man, okay? They're put in front of you, okay? Which one? Now both of them, you don't know which one, okay? Which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth? Out of a random woman or a random man, which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth? The man, okay. Moving over to Gabby, random woman, random man, which one do you think would be more likely to tell you the truth?
I agree, random man.
Okay. And then Maddie?
A man.
A man. And then moving over to Kendra?
A woman.
You think a woman would be more likely to tell you what's true? Okay. And then moving over to Emma?
A woman.
A woman, okay. And then moving over to Alex?
It's a very difficult question, honestly, because...
It is. Well, it is. I agree with that.
So... honestly, I have no idea. I feel like it's 50-50.
Okay. Well, then, whichever one you would... Whatever that, small, tiny, minute grain of possibility is that you would lean towards, because these are your only two options, which one do you think would be more likely to do so?
Okay, so just because, as you said, I come from a feminine perspective and my own perspective, I always tell the truth, I would say a woman only based on that fact and that fact alone.
Okay. And then moving over to Turkish.
Because they're random, completely random, I would say a male.
A man. Okay.
Yes.
So moving back to you, Savannah, why did you pick a man? Why do you think a man would be more likely to tell you the truth than a woman?
I feel like guys often tell the truth more than a girl does. I feel like girls lie more than guys do.
What type of lies do you think women tell more than men? Because, men and women both lie. We both agree that's true, right?
It could be anything, the smallest things.
What types of things? Well, one of the things that I hear a lot, and I don't want to lead you in this, but this is just what I hear a bunch, is white lies. They'll often pick each other apart in their brains while they're telling each other compliments that they don't really mean, things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Would that, yeah? Those types of lies?
I think so, for sure.
Okay. Gabby, why did you choose a man?
In my experiences dealing with both men and women throughout my life, I found women to be a lot more fake and they lie about things a lot more than men do.
Damn. Okay. Maddie, why are we going with a man, Maddie?
I went with man because I think as girls, women, we don't want to necessarily hurt each other's feelings. So, if I were to ask a random woman on the street, and I'm wearing a butt ugly dress, I said, "Does this look cute?" She's gonna say yes because she doesn't want to tear down my self-confidence, even though it's not necessarily the truth. But a man is gonna be more likely to tell me straight up that dress is ugly. That's how I feel.
Okay, and then moving over to Kendra, why did you pick a woman?
Because men be capping.
Okay, I don't know what that means exactly.
They really like to put an emphasis on things that, it is what it is, but they like to gas it up a little bit.
Exaggerate.
Exaggeration? Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's maybe fair, but when it comes to actual truth telling, I'm going to tell you the raw, honest truth, you still think women?
I think there's a difference between the truth and the fact. So...
What's the difference between the truth and the fact?
The truth is what it really is, and a fact is just an opinion based on evidence that everybody has gathered and collectively agrees on.
Yeah, but don't you think that most people would say a fact is the truth?
No. If you don't know the difference between them.
Okay, so I actually don't. I'm trying to figure this out from your purview. So everybody agrees to something, that's what makes it a fact?
Yes.
But it can still be untrue.
The truth is something that's actually been proven, and it's true. Well, actually, it's a fact that this table is white. That's just what society has gathered.
But is it true that the table is white?
No, it's a fact because society as a whole
So,
said this color is white.
hang on. So is it untrue that the table is white?
I mean, I'm not saying it's untrue. I'm not saying
Is it
it's true.
But you're not saying it is true. Well, okay.
What we
I
all
guess
know-
another way to ask this, do you think that people can know what is true?
No.
Okay, so if you don't think that, and I understand that worldview too, if you don't think people can know what is true, then let me rephrase it for your worldview. Do you think that a man or a woman is going to be more likely to tell you what is factual?
A woman.
Okay, and why did you choose woman?
I don't know. I have a different, like, experience with women. Like, my closest friends, like, we're all very honest and blunt with each other. But a random person, just because...
Yeah, this is random man, random woman.
Yeah.
Which one do you think would be more likely to tell you a fact? Even if the fact was uncomfortable or something you didn't like or something you didn't appreciate or, this
I
type
think
of
still a
thing.
woman. I don't think a man.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't think so.
So it's been your experience that men have been less honest with you, at least when it comes to facts, than women.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Emma, same thing to you. Why did you choose woman?
I think womanhood, it's like a girl-to-girl thing, so I feel like as a woman, other women are more reliable. If I'm like, hey, do I have something in my teeth? They're like, yes, girl, I got you if you do. Like,
You want a man say that to you too, if you ask him?
I don't think so.
You don't think a man would tell you if you had something in your teeth? If you asked him, do I have something in my teeth? You think he'd be like, no.
I don't think they're as reliable to tell you that.
Okay. And then Alex, why did you choose a woman?
So again, just based on my own personal, of the way that I go off, because I do feel like it's about 50-50. However, just based on your question earlier for the factual part of it, I do think that man will actually present the facts and women would present more of the feelings. Does not.
Well, hang on. Do we? Then you don't believe we can know what is true?
Both can be true though, because for a
Yeah,
woman,
and
her
I'm not
feelings,
asking if it can be. I'm
her
just
feelings
asking-
are true. But
Yeah,
it's
my
like,
question is not that. My question is just, do you think we can know what is true?
we as in who? Like the person
And
who is listening to the
can
lie?
you know what is true? You yourself, Alex, can you know what is true?
True of what? Like,
True. A statement which is truth
that someone else said or that I'm saying?
that you're saying.
That I'm saying, yes, I can think that a statement is true.
Okay, but does that make it true?
That does not necessarily make it true for
Got
everybody
it.
else.
Okay, so now that we know
Yeah.
that you thinking a thing is true doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
Do you think people can know what is true?
In general, people could, but then at the same time, they don't actually know because
Got
everything
it.
is
So
based
then
on
we're
their
gonna
own
just
perspectives.
right. I understand completely. So then we'll just do the same
Yeah.
thing and say facts.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more likely to tell you the fact of the
And
matter?
as I've said, I think men are more likely
Okay.
to present the facts. I've already said that, like the actual facts of the general knowledge instead of the feelings and the personal truth.
Got it. Okay. So then, do you agree with me that most people would use the term fact and truth interchangeably?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's most
Technically,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's not
So when
true.
I ask you,
Most.
this question, and I kind of rephrase it to, okay,
Yeah.
now facts, you agree with me that we're essentially asking the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
So your answer would actually change that men then, if most people use truth and facts interchangeably, men would be more likely to tell you what is true.
If we're using it interchangeably
Yeah.
and there's absolutely no, yeah.
Difference. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
if there's absolutely no difference, no nuance, yes, I would agree with you.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Turkish.
Can I be honest? I feel like men just don't care. Like, they don't care to sugarcoat anything. They don't care to, like straight up, if I ask Q, someone asked him about the whole virginity thing and taking the girl's virginity and, what was the reason, he could have, sat here and lied and said, she did this or whatever. He just said conflict and I didn't want to deal with it. So, he just was blunt. He's like, that's the fact. Yeah. And I move
Dude,
on. There's no
if
need.
I had a hand raised around the table from just the women, Do you agree with her that men mostly just don't care and are very blunt with what it is that they'll say? Hand raise.
Like, sure, they might not communicate, but when they do, I think they're blunt. Well, the ones that I've dealt with, anyways.
Okay. All right. And this kind of leads to the last question. And so these are all intertwined for a reason, right? So for those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand? Okay.
And Maddie chose bear.
Maddie, do you chose bear?
Yeah.
Where's Maddie?
She did. She's just gonna come back in a second.
Okay. For those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand again?
And then
And for those of you who chose that you would take truth from women, can you raise your hand again? Hang on.
Oh,
Alex.
truth for women.
So,
yes.
hang on.
Truth for women, yes.
So let me just ask again. Those of you who thought that you would get the truth, or those of you who thought that the bear would be better over the man, raise your hand.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
over
Alex, just based on your initial answer, based on just your initial answer, those of you who chose bear, can you raise your hand? Thank you. Okay, so all three of you. And those of you who said that a woman would be more likely to tell you the truth based on your initial answer, can you raise your hand? It's the same three.
So what's the problem?
Well, I just want to kind of point out that the women who would take the man's word over that of a woman in general tend to not take the bear. And those who would take the woman's word over the man tend to take the bear. And so I just think that this is a very interesting kind of thought experiment because I've seen this over and over and over. Now, I'd like to ask another question. Can you raise your hand if you're a feminist or identify with feminism? Alex, stop bullshitting me,
I have
Alex.
changed.
Stop
okay,
bullshitting
okay.
me, Alex. We've been
So-
through this a million times.
Yes,
Stop
okay, so
bullshitting
I
me.
do know. Okay, the main reason why I even made the painting to begin with for Brian is because the show has actually changed a few of my views on a lot of different things, including feminism. So I actually do not align with the current feminist views at all. So,
Which ones?
that I do not want to dismantle the patriarchy. And also just to point out, because the last
Do you
time
want to
there
vote,
was a
Alex?
question.
Do you want to vote?
I do want to vote, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I just got to ask you real quick. Which patriarchal systems do you feel men should be in charge of and women should never be?
So I actually don't think that man should be in charge. I actually, after the research, I'm more of a humanist. I think that everybody, so I think everybody just has, their own
The
thing.
good is the
and
good,
everybody-
man. Right? The good is the good, man.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think everybody, just like I do not think you're a terrible person. I mean, I'm sure you think I'm a terrible person, but it's like, I do not think you're a terrible
Yes.
person. Yes,
Yes.
I know
Terrible
you do.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
But
no,
it's
I
like,
don't think that.
but it's like, I think that everybody should just be able to live whatever that they want to live as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.
All right.
So
Okay,
that's
so
it.
one more quick question, right, going around the table, just to, because right, again, this is just kind of a social experiment that I like to do. Can you just raise your hand around the table if both of your parents are still together?
My mom passed away though. Does that still count? Before?
Yeah, that still
Yeah.
counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to be included in his
Yes,
answer?
we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Both your parents are still together. Okay. Gotcha. All right.